All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please, Mr. Karate?
Okay, Mr. Raccomando. Ms. Ainello.
Present.
Mr. Laurentino.
Present.
Ms. Mahoney.
Here.
Mr. Quinn.
Here.
Ms. Robinson.
Here.
Ms. Roloff.
Here.
Mr. Shearer.
Here.
Ms. Zattarelli.
Here.
All right, at this time, can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of
of
America,
to the
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that you should be on mute so that we are not interrupting. And that's it. Okay, Mrs. Shanley, you're up first with your superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. I'll actually start my report and then turn it over to Mr. Garvey in just a little bit. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. You will see here with us tonight, we have Mark Wetzel, who is one of the attorneys from our firm. So welcome him. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I just wanted to let everybody know that the RFP for before and after care is out for reply. And I just wanted to also again thank all of the parents and the board members, members of our team who participated in the preparation of the parent survey for before and after care and helped us to create wonderful questions and the scoring guide for this process. So their input was incredibly important, and we hope that the RFP represents what we believe the parents in the community are looking for. So we will collect those proposals, and then in April we will meet with the we'll review them. We will have a small committee of the board be present for presentations, and then hopefully in May have a recommendation for the public. Tonight on the agenda, you will see the 21-22 school calendar is on the agenda for approval this evening. The first day of for students is Friday, September 3rd. These are the two questions everybody wants to know. What is the first day for students? Friday, September 3rd. It is a single session day for students. And spring break, they want to know, when is spring break? Is it before Easter or after Easter? It's the week before Easter because Easter comes a little bit late, and Easter Monday is also part of the days off of the school year. And our hope, sincere hope, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand my words because people thought I was sending messages. I'm not sending messages. The truth is we want school, and we hope and plan for school to open as it should in September. That is the goal. May we have dividers? Might we still have masks? Might we still be taking temperatures? That we're not really sure of, but the only thing that's going to derail us is some edict from the governor. So the hope is that school will open as planned in September, full days like it used to be, back to normal. That's our hope. Boost programs. You will see on tonight's agenda, we have boost programs at the elementary schools, at the middle and high school for ELA and math for all students. Teachers will help to determine who needs to be served, who would best be served by these programs, and they are all funded by grants, either entitlement grants that we've received through Title I SIA, or CARES money. You will also see on the agenda this evening a summer academic acceleration program for targeted students in grades 7 through 11. And that will take place at the end of August for 2 weeks at the end of August, sort of a summer step up for the students just in response to this year and hopefully meeting students where they are and getting their skills sharpened for the beginning of the school year. So now, I don't know how many of you paid attention. This was actually brought to my attention by someone else. I didn't see this, but apparently the new Biden proposal is going to result in additional funding for schools. And supposedly we are supposed to receive over $1 million. I hadn't heard anything about this. I had to read about it on NJ.com, and we haven't received any formal notification, but I promise you that when we do, I will let you know exactly how much we will be receiving and what we will do with that money. And depending upon the acceptable uses for the funding and the timeline for the funding, you know, that will determine how we spend it and what we do with it. But like I said, I just read about it, so I haven't heard anything from the state. Also on tonight's agenda, you will see a recommendation to approve Alpha Best to provide summer programming for our families in 2021. Even though we have an RFP out, we do believe it would be unreasonable to have anyone come in by July 1, let's say, or even the last week in June to provide summer programming. So I've asked the board to approve Alpha Best to do that. And so before I go on with the full rest of my, my report, I would like to introduce Mr. Garvey, who has a special presentation for us this evening. Mr. Garvey, are you here? Okay, let's see. Is Rich Shanahan here?
Hello.
Hello.
Ariana, can you hear me? Hey. So Lou asked me to present scholarships for democracy. Is everybody step on what the voice of democracy is?
Mr. Shanahan, maybe you could tell us a little bit about it. And let me just introduce you, please.
If you want, I can read exactly what it entails.
Okay, so Mr. Shanahan is presenting the Voice of Democracy essay competition winners. And we have 3 students who are being recognized tonight. And he's representing the VFW post 3484.
Can you hear him?
Yeah,
I think we might have lost him.
We might have lost him. Well, what I could do is.
That is right.
Oh.
As I was saying before, our commander, Lou Farelli, he asked to step in. I'm the vice commander. I'm here. Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello?
There we go.
I can't understand
reaching?
him. He's very robotic.
Can you please try turning your video off? It might make your connection a little bit better.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
It says we're on.
Yep, we can hear you now.
Now we can hear you.
Better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything
Maybe.
else now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So I think we'll kind of spun up what the voice of democracy is. I'm not going to go into detail since we have communication issues. So I'm just going to read off the students.
No, they asked you to.
Okay, so yes, and I'd like to apologize beforehand if I don't pronounce it. Yeah, yes. I definitely can hear you. So the first contestant or
First place.
student
Okay.
came in first place, and that'd be Nathan Cho. And he's getting a $500 check plus a certificate.
Where are you, Nathan? Are you here?
Second place.
Yes, I am here.
Winner,
Congratulations.
high school student.
Thank you.
Is Bianca
Ianella.
Ianello.
Congratulations,
And
Bianca.
coming in third is, well, this is a tough one, a belly Severino.
Severino. That's
That would
great.
be third place for the Voice of Democracy. Did
Congratulations,
everybody
everybody.
get that?
Yes. And the names are in our agenda
Hello?
as well. The names are in the board agenda as well.
Hello?
Yes. That's
Hello?
hello. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Shanahan.
Yes, congratulations, Nathan.
Congratulations to our students.
Through the chair, am I able to jump in real quick, Ms. Shanley?
About this, sure.
Yeah, I just, obviously congratulations. And I was actually lucky enough to teach 2 of these students. So this was quite a treat. So congratulations to all 3 of them.
That's great. It's great when you see your students grow up, isn't it? And do great things. Okay, super. So I would like to just,
All right. Thank you very much.
thank you,
Sorry
Mr.
that
Shanahan.
The connection wasn't that great.
I wish we could take pictures tonight. Normally that is what we do, but unfortunately we cannot this evening. Okay, so one of the things that I asked the administrative team to do before we,
Yeah, it would be my pleasure. Thank you very much.
thank you,
And
sir.
here's a picture of the certificate.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Great. Okay. All righty then. So thank you. Okay, so one of the things that I asked the administrative team to do in preparation for all of our board meetings is to share good news in the buildings and district-wide. And so I would like to share that with you. For curriculum and instruction, our next social emotional learning day is this coming Monday, March 15th. All students will be working on creating vision boards on this day. The vision boards will be shared in each respective building. We're also excited to host a Joe Trivia Day for all of our staff on this date. So each school will be placed into teams to play online trivia games with prizes being afforded to the winning team in each building. So we are focusing on social and emotional learning even during these crazy times. On Monday, a representative from Linkit, which is our benchmarking assessment tool, is hosting a Q&A session for our staff on the state. So the purpose of this session is to support our teachers with using the features of Linkit. So we've taken a look at student growth from Form A to Form B. Those are the 2 benchmarks we've administered already this year in order to determine where the focus of instruction should be. And teachers will have an opportunity on Monday to ask any questions that they have of the representatives. International SEL Day is Friday, March 26th. Each student will be asked to use the 5 SEL competencies to reflect over this past year and create their own COVID connections. We will then be hosting a virtual bingo night that evening on Friday, March 26th for the entire district. We have received many donations from local organizations and companies to be used as prizes, and more are pouring in. Information on this night will be sent out. Full faculty and staff dress down and wear purple to support epilepsy awareness on Friday, March 25th and 26th. I know that the faculty and staff are already participating in a dress down day on Friday, March 26th. That's their monthly dress down day. And I realize that they are raising funds for another organization, but we have one of our very own Saddlebrook School family members who has been diagnosed with epilepsy. And we would like to bring awareness to epilepsy in his honor. And so we're offering the students' dress down days on the 25th and the 26th, and we encourage everyone to wear purple. Our program of studies website will be up and running soon, and the purpose of this site is to make navigating through our program of studies accessible to all and student and parent friendly. And an email will be sent out once the site is ready for your viewing. In special education on March 24th at 7 p.m., there will be a virtual meeting of the Special Education Parent Advisory Group, the CPAG group. We encourage all parents who have students receiving special education services and related services to join us. An email will be going out this week with the information to join and will be posted on the district website. Again, that's March 24th at 7 p.m. At Washington School on Friday, March 12th, author Diana Lee Santa Maria will be doing a virtual book read at 9:30 for our 3-year-olds and at 11:30 for our 4-year-olds. Miss Santa Maria is a bilingual, award-winning author of the series Dealey's World. This activity is being sponsored by the Washington PTO. Nurse Janet completed her classroom presentation on heart health and is ready to begin her presentation on nutrition. The preschoolers at Washington School celebrated Read Across America Week with many fun activities. Each day they read a book and did an activity that corresponded to the book. They read Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, Wacky Wednesday, Fox and Socks, and I Don't Want to Get Up. We wore crazy socks and crazy hats and even enjoyed a pajama day. Good time was had by all. At Franklin School, Read Across America looked quite different this year. No matter, Franklin students enjoyed the stories read aloud by the virtual guest readers from the Saddlebrook community. An added feature to the week for our 6th grade students was a socially distant cross-grade activity with their younger peers at Franklin. Karen Chappelle's 6th grade homeroom students served as virtual guest readers for the students in Bridget Kelly's 4th grade homeroom. And the 6th graders recorded themselves as they read their favorite picture group books. Several students included a mini lesson or shared advice at the end of the read alouds. 5th grade language arts team, Mrs. Crowley, Mrs. Santiago, Mrs. Jochum, and Mrs. Rigatano had been working together across the district to create seamless learning experiences for all students. In both reading and writing, students are working on their wax museum projects, and while working in a hybrid model, students have had the opportunity to use technology-based resources such as Storia, Epic Books. The teachers and students have hopes of presenting their museum to peers in a socially distant and safe way later on this school year. 4th graders in Miss Kelly's, Miss Takash's, and Mrs. Santiago's math classes have been utilizing Seesaw to allow students to build a conceptual understanding of fraction modeling virtually. Seesaw has enhanced effectiveness of instruction by providing teachers with an engaging way to reinforce learning while giving them an alternative way to show their understanding. At Long School, the students at LMS enjoyed Read Across America Week activities presented by our district reading specialists, thanks to all of our guest readers from across the community. Mr. Munoz was rocking it today in the parking lot, I shouldn't say parking lot, and the macadam with the students having this amazing phys ed dance party. So I just had to share that. Mr. Munoz is sharing that he raised a total of $5,000 for the American Heart Association Kids Heart Challenge. So keep dancing and keep those heart rates up. We have launched the One School, One Book initiative at Long this week. The elementary students are all reading Stuart Little together. The reading specialists arrange for pre-recorded chapters so that the students can view and then discuss with their teachers. And we are excited to share the unity of one common book. At Smith School, the 6th graders have taken over the morning announcements, and they love to add their own helpful tips and mood-boosting songs for all of their classmates in the school. This month, all Smith students are learning about trustworthiness. They are learning what it means to be honest, reliable, to have courage, to do the right thing, and follow through with promises and obligations. They're doing a great job showing how they can be trustworthy in school and outside of school. Student Council is running a breakfast food drive for the Center of Food Action located in Saddlebrook. 4th grade students celebrated Black History Month through reading and researching. The unit culminated with virtual and live presentations. Several students dressed the part of their influential advocate, such as Ruby Bridges and Kamala Harris. Classmates learned about the roles of Jesse Owens and Jackie Robinson played in sports. Mae Jemison has sparked our interest in NASA. Students are moving on with reading and writing history into the American Revolution. 3rd grade has started working on biographies and understanding the importance people play in our world. Kindergartners are working on informative writing and are getting inspiration by researching topics of interest on nonfiction books. They're also enjoying using the virtual libraries their teachers have created for them in order to practice their reading skills. 2nd grade students celebrated Black History Month by reading and listing wow facts about notable African Americans such as Ruby Bridges, Jesse Owens, and George Washington Carver. We kicked off Women's History Month by reading Rosie Reaver, engineer, and discussing Rosie Riveter and the role of women during World War II. The students followed this fiction book with a nonfiction study of Amelia Earhart. Our 5th grade math students have answered over 25,000 questions on IXL, achieving excellence in over 500 5th grade math skills. At the middle school, high school, we'd like to extend our congratulations once again to our valedictorian, Bianca Ianello, and our salutatorian, Jason McCauley, and their families, who are Saddlebrook employee families. Thank you to Ann Hazley. Yes. Thank you to Ann Hazley for the work she did in organizing Read Across America Week at the middle school, high school. Each day had a different theme and competition. Motivation Monday, share a favorite quote from a book. Tuesday Tips, a character that you connected with from a book and gave you tips in real life. What are you reading Wednesday? Share a book you're currently reading. Throwback Thursday, share a favorite book from your childhood or elementary years. And Follow Friday, check out the North Texas Teen Book Festival. During the month of March, our AP classes and students are working very hard and completing full-length, rigorous practice AP exams to prepare for the tests in May. There is a virtual college fair on March 16th, open to all high school students. That is March 16th. And there is also a financial aid presentation geared toward 10th and 11th grade parents on March 30th. These dates and reminders can be found on the website, and I know Mr. Meisch will send out reminders via email. In athletics, the athletic department would like to recognize our senior athletes who competed in our Winter 2 sports season. Oh, I hope I don't hurt them too badly. Winter track, Justin Zgambati, Anna Memja, Jason McCauley, Gianna D'Alessandro, Kwase Sawala, Nicholas Schobel, Jasvir Kaur, Sabrina Sanchez, Christian Ramos, Bilal Khan, Devin Davila, Abeli Severino, and Carissa Riley. In competition cheer, Lauren Smetana, Brooke Weiland, Olivia Adrignola, and Natalie Russo. In boys basketball, Patrick Matula, Paul Figueroa, John Kahine, I'm not sure, sorry, Victor Vidiello, Daniel Moadi, Jadis De Jesus, Derek Muoyo, Michael Rocafuerte, and Gaiman Singh. In girls basketball, Bianca Ianello and Vanessa Gusciora. Oh, I'm glad I don't have to read the names at graduation. Okay, so I know that everybody is waiting for more information about the remainder of the year, and I understand that completely. I would like to let you know where we are on that, and please keep in mind that each and every one of us has our own perspective and our own priorities and our own opinions, and I respect and I value that. It's very difficult to be in the position where you have to make the decision that hopefully reflects the best interest of everyone. Our students first, our families, our faculty, teachers, and staff, and everybody in the district, the school district community. So I think it's important to keep in mind too, that it's very easy to vilify the government, the governor, the county, the teachers, the administrators, the superintendent, the board, the parents. We can blame anybody for things going wrong. The truth of the matter is that we're in a mess of a pandemic right now. Hopefully things are getting better. We're hopefully seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. But I think when push comes to shove, we're all in this for the same purpose, and that's for the growth of our students here. And I think, if we think about the last time maybe someone showed you a little grace, and when the last time was that maybe you exercised that grace towards someone else, it's a time when we need to be exercising grace. We have families who've lost, students who've lost, and people who are still losing. So what we hope to do is build a positive plan for tomorrow. And I think that's just really important to keep in mind. And the decisions that are made have to be made to represent everyone. And I'm sure no matter what we do, somebody will be disappointed. And that's unfortunate, but we're going to do our very, very best. So the survey from the parents was probably the most, I would say, diverse survey as far as opposite ends of wants and needs and desires being represented by a group of people, from almost the same amount of people who were perfectly happy with the way things are or didn't want school to open at all, to an equivalent amount of people who want school open as quickly as possible. There's no way to create a plan that's going to make both sets of these people happy. So we went through, and I spent time discussing this with the board, and I spent time discussing this with our administrative team. And today I spent time talking to the leadership from the Teachers Association. And I think it's really important to remember that we do all have to work together. And we have been very fortunate that we have been open since September. Have we had to close for outbreaks and things like that? Yes, but we have steadily been open. So how do we move forward? That's the most important question, okay? So one of the things that came up in the survey was having middle and high school students return before their younger classmates, siblings, students at the elementary school. And that makes sense. Number one, because classrooms at the high school are bigger, students tend to not need to touch each other as much as little ones tend to touch each other. And we have the highest percentage of students who are on purely remote instruction. So my recommendation for moving forward is that the middle and high school students return to school for 4 days of instruction, Tuesday through Friday, beginning March 23rd. So the high school is going to be closed through the 18th. Students will come back on the 18th and the 19th. And the following week on Tuesday, the blue and gold cohorts will be combined, but the schedule will remain the same for now. After spring break, the high school schedule will probably change to reflect more periods in a day, but we have not worked that out yet. and I will need our reopening scheduling committee to work with me on and the other administrators on that schedule. Then we are looking at spring break from April 5th to the 9th. And after spring break, I'm recommending one full remote week for everyone. So there were some questions about that. Parents asked, and rightfully so, why, if parents are taking their kids on vacation, spring break, why would you reward them by closing school for a week? I don't see it as rewarding anyone for anything. What I see is that if people are going to travel, they're going to travel, and I cannot prevent that. I can't control what people do outside of the school day. However, what I can control is trying, hopefully, to ensure that even if people do travel, that they don't bring any virus into the school. So by having a remote week, the week after spring break, my hope is people will do their due diligence and remain home the week after spring break and come back to school healthy. This also is approximately 6 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. It allows another 5 weeks of immunizations for faculty and staff, another 5 weeks of hopefully warmer weather, and an ability to install all of the desk dividers that we would like to have in place at the elementary schools. So that gives the custodial staff spring break and the following week to install almost 1,000 dividers in all of the schools at the elementary level. Then on April 20th, which is a Tuesday, the elementary schools will come back for four single session days. So we will be, as of April 20th, combining blue and gold cohorts and also encouraging remote students to return to school Tuesday through Friday. Mondays for now, for April, will remain intact because we are currently running all of our specials. We are providing services on Mondays and small groups, etc. So I will follow all of this up with a parent letter. I am going to be reaching out to the staff to ask them what it is that they need to be successful, all of these new things considered. And we want to encourage parents, when they feel comfortable and it gets a little bit warmer, to send their students back to school from the remote learning environment. The more students that we can have in school make managing that dual classroom situation a little bit better for teachers. I'm not quite sure if parents have any understanding, unless maybe you're a teacher yourself, how difficult it is to teach students in person while at the same time managing a class online on the computer and trying to teach live in your classroom. The hope is that when we have more students in school, the work will become easier for teachers. So right now we have a plan that takes us through the end of April. And then I will revisit beyond that with the board and with the team and with the Teachers Association. But I think that that allows us a roll in and a ramp up, which is what the hope is. And it does it, I believe, safely and slowly in a way that can hopefully meet the needs of most of the constituent groups. And for parents who still want their children to remain virtual, they will have that choice because that is required by the governor. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Shanley. Okay, Mr. Karate, Business Administrator's report.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a few items this evening. I'll hold a couple of the budget items until later in the evening when Mr. Quinn gives his report. I don't want to take away his thunder. In the fall, I reported, I think it was at our October meeting, like Mr. Shanley was saying, this CARES. You've heard CARES or ESSER, or two acronyms they come up with. We received between federal, state, and county funds, a total of about $324,000. And with that money, we've purchased a lot of PPE, desk dividers, plexiglass dividers, Chromebooks and a Google Suite package. A couple weeks ago, we were notified that there was a CARES 2 funding and received little over $861,000 for those funds. In those funds, there's three buckets of money, the most being $767,000 for similar uses of the CARES 1 allowable uses, but they added three additional ones for student learning acceleration for their learning loss, mental health supports and services, and HVAC upgrades and maintenance items. So those funds, we have to do an application for them. We will receive those funds and we'll have an application to the state it's due by May 14th. And now we just got word, like Mrs. Shelley said, we received possibly, which is not even signed by the president yet, $1.4 million. I don't know if it's going to be the same allowable uses, but this is all great news, and we need money in all different areas that will help us move forward. So that's all good news. And Saddlebrook our name must be down with the federal and county level. I would tell all the residents of Saddlebrook to play the lottery, but this isn't a good list you want to be on. In the fall, we were on a schedule to do our QSAC audit, which is a review by the county office, from the state through the county office. And it's a very intense review with 5 different areas. We got word in January, I think it was early January, that this was going to be postponed. So we dodged a bullet there. In October, we received word that we're going to see the federal Title I audit, which is another very intense report. In fact, years ago in my last district, the annual audit, which the auditor just reported on Monday, takes about roughly 3 weeks for a $35 million budget. Title I funds is about approximately $230,000, $250,000. And I said my last district, they took almost a solid week to review it. They dot every I, make sure the T's crossed. This one is virtual, so we don't know how that's going to run, but we didn't hear from them. So we thought maybe we got passed over again, but they came back in February and they said they're going to come now on March 22nd. They selected a different year for audit. So that one's on for March 22nd. And then the last one we just received last week was my supervisor of buildings and grounds, Mr. Soroki, received is from the state an asbestos audit, which is the HARA, or Annual Asbestos Hazardous Emergency Response Act, to see how the district is doing with their management plan for asbestos. So this is a very detailed review. Mr. Soroki worked on it last week and called the environmental company in. They went through all our documents. This person goes back from when, like in the 80s, when the original documents for asbestos were done with the building, and he follows things through to current times. We try every year to do some level of asbestos abatement. It does cost a lot of money, whether it's a tile abatement or pipe insulation. But he was very impressed with our work, and I thank Mr. Soroki for getting that all together. And we're going to get a report from the state. There might be a couple of little things on it, but overall, it was a very, very good report. And like I said, I'll hold a couple of things till later in the meeting, and that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, at this time, can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment for agenda items and policies only? So this part is only for agenda items.
Motion.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we are open for public comment for agenda items only. Does anyone wish to speak on the agenda items only? If you go down to participants, you can find the raise your hand. I'm not seeing any at the moment.
Seeing any either.
Give it another second or two. Okay, then seeing none, can I have a motion to close the meeting for public comment on agenda items?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, any opposed? Okay, so we are closed for agenda items. All right, so now let's move to our agenda. And first we have a motion to, at the recommendation of the superintendent, make a motion to approve the following items, the board action items, B122 and B123. Can I have a motion and a second?
Motion, so moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on those items? Okay, Mr. Karate, please.
Sure, we're going to start with Mr. Quinn this evening.
Yes.
Ms. Robinson,
Yes.
Ms. Roloff,
Yes.
Mr. Shear,
Yes.
Ms. Zottarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Raccomando,
Yes.
Ms. Ianello,
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino,
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes. Okay, education and curriculum, Ms. Roloff.
Good evening. At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items, E112 through E113.
And then we have 14, 15, and 16.
We do. That's
We do.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. 14, 15, and 16 also.
Second.
We also
Second.
have 113.
I only have to 113, but there is a, I'm assuming.
There's another agenda.
Okay. That I didn't print out, but that's all good.
That's okay.
We got you covered.
Okay, any discussion on those items? Okay, Mr. Karate.
Mr. Quinn,
He's froze up.
Mr. Quinn, we lose you there? We'll come back to you. Okay, we'll come back to Ms. Robinson,
Yes.
Ms. Roloff,
Yes.
Mr. Shear,
Yes.
Ms. Zottarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Raccomando.
Okay, can anybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, so yes by Mr. Raccomando. Mr. Quinn, your vote?
Yes. Sorry, I froze there for a little bit.
That's okay. Ms. Ianello,
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino,
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes. Okay, next we are going to finance, budget, and facilities. Mr. Quinn.
Yes, unfortunately, I also lost my but at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion for the following items, and seeing when everything went dark, I lost my
I can help you out.
agenda. Could someone please tell me which ones those go through?
Sure, F363 to F401.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, so do we have a second? Thank you. Okay, any discussion on those items? Okay, Mr. Karate, roll call.
Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Robinson,
Yes.
Ms. Roloff,
Yes.
Mr. Shear,
Yes.
Ms. Zottarelli,
Yes, but I'm going to abstain from F392, check number 58465, and F395, ID number 62.
thank you. Ms. Raccomando,
Yes.
Ms. Ianello,
Yes to all, but I'm going to abstain and F392, check numbers 687 and 972.
Mr. Laurentino,
I am going to vote yes to all, but I'm going to abstain
On F392, checks 723 and 1009.
And Ms. Mahoney.
Yes.
So all motions pass.
Okay. There are no policies this evening, so let's go to negotiations. Mrs. Zattarelli?
Okay, at the recommendation of the board, I would like to, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following items. N14, to approve a contract between the Saddlebrook Board of Education and the Saddlebrook Administration Association for the term of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2023. And N15, to approve a contract between the Saddlebrook Board of Education and the Saddlebrook Teachers Association, Teachers Assistant Association, for the term of July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Well, make Mike the second, so the motion that.
Okay. Any discussion on those items?
The chair, congratulations to all.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, roll call, Mr. Karati.
Mr. Quinn.
Yes.
Ms. Robinson.
Yes.
Ms. Roloff.
Yes.
Mr. Shearer.
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli.
Yes to N15, abstain to N14. N14.
Mr. Accomando.
Yes.
Ms. Ainello.
Yes to N15, and I'm going to abstain from N14.
Mr. Laurentino.
I'm going to abstain from both.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes.
Okay, so both items pass.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Accomando, personnel, please.
Sure, thank you. At the motion, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve following items P809 to P900.
Okay.
Second.
Do we have, thank you. Any discussion on those items?
Mrs. Mahoney?
Yes.
If I could just note that beginning next month, the personnel section of the agenda, outside of new appointments, any leaves or anything like that, we will be using employee numbers and not names at the advice of council moving forward.
Thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Karati?
Mr. Quinn.
Yes.
Ms. Robinson.
Yes.
Ms. Roloff.
Yes.
Mr. Shearer.
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli.
Yes to all, but I'm going to abstain from P896.
Mr. Accomando.
Yes.
Ms. Ainello.
Yes to all, but I'm abstaining from 194.
Mr. Laurentino.
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes to all. I'm just going to abstain from P895, number 1.
Okay, so all motions pass. Okay.
Okay. Okay, committee reports. Mr. Quinn, do you have a budget, finance, and facilities?
I do. Thank you very much. For the budget, we're getting very close to finishing it off. And first, I have to say this is the first time I have ever heard in all of my time on the board, Mr. Karati use the word good during a budget session. Which really just means that we're only a few $100,000 from actually having a balanced budget instead of $1 million or more at this point. So it's all relative. Right now, we have been able to work into the budget a ABA program at the middle school, which will also allow us to add a couple of life skills classes. We have also been able to add into the budget a new technology teacher due to the high student demand and the need for it. We've discussed the CARES money and possible uses for that that fall under the specific guidelines of each grant. One possibility is we might hopefully get a SAC counselor with the CARES money. And we are currently looking at all of our capital list, and we will be begin with prioritizing the HVAC systems with the funds we have available. Our next meeting is on the 15th of March for the budget committee, and we're hoping to be able to have a special meeting to adopt the budget shortly thereafter.
All right.
That's my report for now.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Mahoney, I'd like to also add, with the budget, so we're almost, complete budgeting, balancing the budget, and it was a better year. There's still a lot of things to do. A lot more money is needed. We did receive, everybody probably saw in the newspaper, Brook received $212,750 in additional aid over the current year. I just want everybody to know that this, they run the formula for state aid, which is a couple different categories, and we should be receiving a little over $2 million. So even though we're receiving $212,000 this year, we're still a little over $362,000 short of where we should be. We are moving in the right direction. The last couple of years, we have been receiving additional funds, which is great, and hopefully the governor and legislators could still fund that, and next year will be even in better shape. With that said, there's still a lot of areas to juggle and balance this, like Mr. Quinn mentioned, with the capital projects, with all these different funding areas, what to prioritize and what to put in the budget. So we just need a little more time with that. That's why we didn't make tonight's meeting for adopting a tentative budget. It's due to the county office on March 22nd. So I think I mentioned to the board before, I'm recommending that we have a special meeting on March 18th at 7 o'clock, everybody could make it, to adopt our tentative budget for the 2021-22 school year. So if everybody's good with that, I'll put a notice in the newspaper to set that meeting up.
21-22.
I say 21-22 school year.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ray, what was the date?
March 18th, a Thursday, 7 p.m. Is everybody good with that? See a couple hands, a couple thumbs.
Some thumbs up.
looks like we're good. Okay, so I'll advertise
great.
for that meeting, and that'd be great. Thank you.
Super.
Okay. I don't believe there's an education or any additional negotiations reports, correct? Okay, good.
Correct.
I think we have some liaison reports. I know we have one from Mrs. Iannello. You want to go with yours? Mr. Laurentino, you have something too?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with Mrs. Iannello.
Okay, hi. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to remind everyone that there is going to be a PTO meeting for the middle school, high school PTO on Monday, the 22nd at 7 p.m. I believe Mr. Meisch sent out a link, and it'll also be on the Facebook page. And on that evening, Ms. Cawley will be presenting to the parents, and she is presenting from the Special Education Parent Advisory Group. Okay, so that should be a really great meeting to attend. And that's it for now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Laurentino?
Yes, I have the Long Memorial School liaison for the PTO. I'd like to thank them for inviting me. The meeting was last night. They covered some topics. Also, as Ms. Iannello just said, Jillian Cawley was present, and she gave a presentation on the CPAC committee. The superintendent stole a little of my thunder because Long School did a great job with the kid health challenge. They raised over $5,000 for that. I'd also like to commend their PTO. They're discussing several activities that they're considering and that we can promote in this pandemic world, a lot of it's virtual. So as those events get finalized, I'll be more than happy to announce them there and hopefully help them raise some great money. And that is what I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else have a liaison report?
I do.
Mrs. Robinson,
yeah.
go ahead.
So, hold on one second. So the Saddlebrook Educational Foundation will be accepting scholarship applications until April 15th. Please mail all applications to SBEF, PO Box 500, Saddlebrook, New Jersey. So it has to be a resident of Saddlebrook, graduating class in good standing, GPA 2.5, and then there's a one-page essay needed that says what I have learned while contributing to the community of Saddlebrook. The information should be on the website, and if you need any information, you can let me know. You can, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any other liaison reports before I move on?
I have one from Franklin.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, a lot of my thunder was stolen being last. Ms. Shanley touched on the CPAG, and Jillian Crawley was at last night's meeting. She did a fantastic job presenting. As you all heard, the date will be coming in an email as to forming a committee and joining. They also touched on the One Book, One School, which Ms. Shanley also explained with Stuart Little. They're planning a book fair for April. They're planning to have pictures, school pictures taken in May. No dates have been set. And their next PTA meeting is April 13th.
All right.
Excellent. Or PTO, I'm sorry, I'm old school.
That's all good.
And I think this year's school pictures will be outside.
Awesome.
So they're excited about that, I think.
Great. All right, do we have any correspondence tonight?
None this evening.
Okay, old business? New business?
Go ahead, Rich.
Go ahead, Mike. No, you can go first.
I just wanted to say I was invited by Miss Lab to do the Read Across America, and I apologize. I was unable to do that. So thank you so much for the invite. Congratulations to Mr. Cho, Ms. Ianello, Mr. Savarino on the VFW. Thank you, Mr. Soroki and staff for the asbestos report. And there was something I liked that I've read. I hope we're allowed to read Dr. Seuss, you know. It's be who you are and say what you feel. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And that's just something I yesterday. And that's it. Much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bashir?
Yeah, just piggybacking off of what Mr. Accomando had just talked about. Ms. Laub, Mrs. Dunn, and I hope I'm saying this right, Mrs. Tevis, they put together this fantastic Bitmoji virtual read aloud classroom presentation for all of our students in the elementary schools. You know, and it consisted of administration, board trustees, and community members. It was, you know, a fantastic job. A lot of fun books that were shared. It would have been nice to have been able to go into the classrooms and see the kids. I would have got a kick out of that to go back to my Smith School roots. But this was another amazing alternative. And this is actually even nicer because this can last the entire year. So kids can return to this whenever they want to check out one of their favorite books. So kudos to the reading specialist at the elementary schools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, then can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, if you'd like to speak tonight while I'm reading the statement, please go to the participants and find the raise your hand button. Okay. Residents are required to state their names, addresses, and subject matter, are requested, I'm sorry. to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Okay, thank you.
Okay, first we have up is Christine Pecoraro.
Hi, good evening. Christine Pecoraro, 100 Nedlick Drive. I'd like to direct this question to either the board president, Mrs. Mahoney, or business administrator, whichever can answer it the best. But what is the calendar date that a superintendent in this district must be notified by for hire? So that is my question this evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else wishing to address the board? I don't see any more hands up. Oh, Sarah Malnicki.
Hi, Sarah Malnicki, 102 Claremont Ave. I just had a question about the ABA class. I thought that sounds awesome. I have it in my school district and it's really successful. Is that going to be for September, hopefully? And what kind of staff would you have? Would you, obviously I understand teachers, but would you have like a full-time, I don't know if you have a full-time BCBA on board, or I don't know how much you can tell me. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Ms. Mahoney, I don't see any other hands up.
All right, seeing that.
Every time I say yes, somebody comes up.
I know.
We have Patty next.
I'm sorry, I'm doing dishes.
That's right.
Patty, Patty Shaheen. It's Shaheen, Miss Shanley.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Everybody gets it wrong. I live on First Street in Saddlebrook. My question is about the reopening of the school, the schedule. Exactly what schedule are they following? Is it Tuesday and Wednesday, first period through fourth, and then Thursday, Friday, 5, 8, 7, 6? How does that work?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Is there anybody else wishing to address the board at this time?
Okay.
Seeing none.
Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the meeting? For public
So
comment?
moved. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, we are closed. So the superintendent needs to be notified by April 1st. Okay, and Mrs. Shanley, do you want to take
Sure.
the other one?
Sure. So Mrs. Milnicki, yes, we're it's going to be at the middle school, and we're going to have and I'm going to ask Dr. Reisenhower to reach out to you just to make sure that I am not making a mistake here. We're going to have a special education teacher, a para for the room, a social worker, part-time social worker, and behaviorist. And then within that class as well, or within that room, I should say, when maybe those students who are in that program maybe go out for lunch or phys ed or something, we will also be offering life skills classes to maybe other students who have life skills in their IEPs. But I can ask her to reach out to you if you want more specifics about the program. It is in its development right now, and the plan is for it to be for September. Yes. And I would like her, once we have the people and the players and the room in place, because obviously with the life skills component, the room is important too, to maybe have Dr. Reisenauer and Mrs. Cawley come and do a presentation on the program so that, you know, the whole public could see it. But I can ask Dr. Reisenauer to get back to you. Okay. As far as the middle and high school, for the last 2 weeks in March, the schedule will stay the same. Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 to 4. I'm sorry, yeah. And Thursday, Friday, 5, 8, 7, 6. Then we're going on spring break. After spring break, the schedule will be different. We're trying to, and we have not created it yet. We're working as a team to do that. We're trying to make a more cohesive and fluid schedule for the middle and high school students, because they will no longer be in a rotating cohort. So we're working on that. But for March, we will keep it the same. We're going to show one transition at a time. Get all the kids back in 4 days, let them get used to that, go on spring break, hopefully be healthy, and then come back to a new sort of reimagined schedule, but it will still be single session days. I hope I answered your question. If I did not, please email me, and I will. And thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I don't believe the board needs to go into closed session tonight, correct?
Through the chair.
Yes.
Did anybody answer Ms. Carral's question?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't believe we need to go into closed session tonight, right?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then any other anything?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day, because everyone is Irish, whether you're Irish or not, on St. Patrick's Day. And happy birthday, Mike. A little late.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, then our next board meetings, well, we are probably going to have the budget meeting on the 18th.
March 18th.
March 18th. And then our April meetings are April 12th and April 14th. And I believe that is it. So can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night and stay safe.
Good night, everyone.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.